should have reported to all of us that IMF are trying to strangle him. I would have come to rally behind him, because Africa said no to SAPs, as I mentioned earlier on, structural adjustment programs of the IMF. They failed. So we could also say, stop this habit of killing our economies, because at the end of the day, if you look at that way, maybe the problem is not even Ruto. Maybe the problem is those multinationals and the Bretton Woods institutions. And that is a problem across Africa. Now, having said that, I don't want to defend what Ruto has done. I personally continue to object seriously to the housing levy tax. That surely is what will take Ruto home. Yeah, because you cannot do that. Everybody earning an income, you know, how do you even agree on which investor is going to build? And you think all Kenyans were born to be artisans, hewers of stone, and nothing else. Now, some of them are very qualified people. They want to realize their professions. So, Tony, I'm just in agreement. But let me agree even with Audrey. Audrey, I thank you. I agree actually entirely. And as a lawyer, I can tell you I have nothing useful to add to what you said. The preconditions, because those are preconditions to dialogue. You're basically saying nobody is averse to dialogue. You cannot. As I said there, dialogue should be a way of life. And if there's no dialogue in South Sudan, which I was involved in, then nothing can happen. But dialogue in a situation like we find ourselves in our country should surely not be seen the way it is. So those conditions. I attended the funeral of Rex Masai, the first one to fall out of the 41 young Kenyans. And what the mourners at Gen Z were shouting is, justice for Rex. Justice for Rex. So if there's no justice, you cannot even begin to think of dialogue. So Audrey, I don't know whether you are from the law school at Strathmore. If you are, I met your former dean in London a few days ago. And he was asked to serve in the audit committee. I'm quite sure he must have, Professor, very difficult name, he must have declined. So I really agree with you that there must be justice, and there must be, though those people, abductions must stop. I met this young man, the president of the Kenya School of Law Students Association, Okuya. He was even injected with some substance, but those people abducted him, left him for the dead somewhere in Murang'a. And you expect that Okuya would want to have dialogue? First of all, he wants justice. He wants justice, and not just him. He represents the young law students and others like him. So I hope that the advocates of yet another level of dialogue will take note that perhaps people are saying they are not opposed to dialogue, but there are preconditions. Get things right. Get the IBC going. So that if the dialogue says, well, as a result, let's go for snap elections. Some of us have been saying this openly in order to allow the Gen Zs now to take space. I hope they're also registering as voters. And I can tell you, having run once for president, the most expensive item is providing 3,000 shillings per agent in the 15,000 plus polling stations, which are primary schools. If you calculate that, if you don't have billions, you can't even begin to think, to run. But I believe the spirit of Gen Zs can say the Gen Zs will themselves be the volunteer agents in every polling station. That will be the culmination of bringing true democratic liberation to Kenya. So that's my challenge to you, and I agree with you. As I said, nothing useful to add. Very quickly, Victor Sankara. Where is Victor Sankara? Yeah. You're very skeptical about democracy, and I can't blame you. Barack Obama, the 44th president of the United States, is regularly quoted on CNN by a lady called Christian Amon, a Christian, Amon Paul. Very brilliant.